Consistency question. What I'm thinking is, it seems like when you get in the tournament, you can play a very good game, and that becomes who you are. You know, you don't. It doesn't have to be, well, what'd you do 2, 3, 4, 5 games ago? Is that true? I mean, are you guys, you know, this better version of yourselves or something, like as you were yesterday?
Yeah, I think so, but you have to go prove it every single night. I think it was Dean Smith who said you don't take momentum with you to the NCAA tournament, you build it once you get there. And we've actually talked about that and how important it is to come out in that first game and establish those things that you perceive to be your identity. And I thought we did that yesterday. I thought we played really hard, albeit not always smart, but we played really hard, and we got the ball out in transition, and we rebounded. And those are things that we worked on all week, and those are points of emphasis. And I thought the way we played yesterday reflected that. So, yeah, I think if you look back, Clay, to last season, when did we play our best basketball? Easily in the NCAA tournament. So that's kind of why you prepare all year, to try to figure out how to be as good as you can possibly be this time of year.
Sherri, can you talk about coaching Erin, and does it feel like sometimes you're not sure if you're getting through to her the way she just still, everything just rolls off her back, it seems like?
Now you know why I color my hair. You know, she's actually, Vegas is she's a great challenge and a ton of fun to coach simultaneously. It is so easy to coach kids who are not afraid. She is not afraid of anything, anytime, anywhere. She and Morgan Hook yesterday both. It's their first NCAA tournament game ever. Fire, fire, fire. Sometimes freshmen high. They don't want the ball. They don't want to shoot. So these guys are hunting them, and they want to. And that's easy. It's easy to coach somebody who is confident enough that they're not afraid. 3 times yesterday in a row, on the other end of the spectrum, I yelled at her in press offense to move up the floor. And she looked at me and stood where she was. And I yelled at her again, and she looked at me and stood where she was. Lindsay Cloman was beside me on the bench going, "What in the world?" We were all trying to break through. And it's not like she defies. That's not it at all. Not a disrespectful bone in her body. It just takes a while sometimes for it to sink in. She's thinking about other things, or thinking about nothing, as she expressed just a moment ago. But she's a neat kid, and she's fun, she's happy, she's confident, and she's played a big role this year in some very difficult situations. So she's a challenge, but I'm glad she's my challenge and nobody else's.
She seems like she has a good feel for her role, and I mean, she knows what Danielle's going to do, but she knows what she can do and fills that pretty well, something unlike most freshmen would have.
Yeah, I think she's very comfortable not having to be the leader, but she's a very good follower. She wants, if plan A doesn't work, she wants to be plan B for sure. And again, it's just that absence of fear, particularly in scoring the basketball. I never worry if she misses 3 or 4, you know, is she going to go high or what's she going to do? There will be no second guessing. If she is open, she will shoot.
Talk about what you see Miami on the field.
I thought Clay's comparison to Kentucky was very good because their defensive tenacity is a little less predictable than, say, at Texas A&M's. Texas A&M is probably the team in our league most comparable to them because of physical makeup, just sheer athleticism. I think they're bigger than Miami was across the board, and maybe better athletes, maybe. I don't know. I'm getting old, my memory doesn't present it real clearly, but they're chaotic in their defensive pressure. You don't necessarily know where it's coming from or when it's coming. And in that vein, remind me a little bit of Ole Miss a couple of years ago that we faced in Dayton, just the sort of random nature of the chaotic trap. And they live and die by it. I mean, as the kids said, they force their opponents into 25 turnovers a game. And we coughed it up, 22 times yesterday? And not in any situation like what we'll see tomorrow night.
And it sounds like it's more of a chess match. They'll pull push your son, they'll half court. They mix it up to really make you think and work all the time. That it's not just a one style to get ready for it. They'll mix and match throughout the game.
Yeah, they do, and I think that's part of who they are. There's not anything really predictable about what they do on either end of the floor. They're not going to run 52 sets that we've got to sit in here and figure out how to guard today. It's much simpler and yet much harder to do. You got to stay in front of this ball when this kid's dribbling, and she dribbles fast and goes right at the rim. It's just, you don't know where the penetration's coming from or when it will strike. It's just unpredictable, and their defense is the same way. I think that's part of what's made them so successful this season.
Will most of the battle be won if you can make them have to set up in the half court?
Defensive transition is a key, I will say that, and the biggest issue with that is whoever gets the rebound goes. It's not like you're shortening an outlet pass or you've got to stop the point guard. If their four-man gets the rebound, she's going. I mean, they just go. And so there could be a number of different people having to stop the ball and having to protect the basket, which is a little bit of a concern because of our youth. Danielle can adapt to that, and Whitney, if she can get there in time, can adapt to that. But it's gonna require some communication and some awareness from young guys who haven't really been in this situation before. So the defensive transition piece of it is key. The other part of it, I think, is you can't give them second chances. They rebound offensively like crazy maniacs. They just go after the ball. So our blockouts will be huge. I just think those are the two biggest keys. And their half-court stuff, they're going to shoot it pretty fast. But you can't give them seconds, and you can't give them open baskets in transition.
Well, this is just a simple basketball question then. Do other teams not attack the ball on the offensive glass the way they do because they don't have the athleticism to retreat, or just because they don't?
Combination.
Okay.
There are lots of us who would like to be able to do that, but then if we do that, we give up layups on the other end. And that's not to say that they won't also.
They roll the dice.
Can you come up with it? If we can come up with it, we can go get one, but coming up with it is easier said than done.
Where does something like an experience in terms of playing this tournament that all your kids have over them? Where do you see that show up in a game, do you think?
I think particularly in this one tomorrow night, it's Danielle Robinson wanting and demanding the basketball. It's Whitney Hand making tough plays against pressure in the half court. It's those two guys being our anchor. And so if it does get frenzied and it does get chaotic, the young guys can look around and those two are in control. I think it's more of maybe a little bit of a tangible thing, Brian, but it's also a demeanor thing, a countenance thing, a way they react in huddles. Danielle was fantastic throughout the game yesterday. Just in the things that she said and the ways that she said them, she just sounded like a seasoned veteran in the NCAA tournament. And I felt like there were a couple times when Erin was, just kind of locked up after she turned it over, and Danielle was able to get her and get her back in the moment. Jasmine went through a period, and Danielle was able to help her. So I think that's where it shows itself most.
Well, Danielle's resume speaks for itself. With Dawn Staley and Lieberman, just all the records she has. But she had a couple of silly fouls yesterday and got foul trouble and fouled out. How imperative is it for her not to do that?
She has to stay in the game. Period. She has to stay in the game. She can't. I think it was her fourth foul, and she said, "Well, I can't give her a layup." And I said, "Sit down." She sat down on the bench, and I said, "You think about this for a minute. It's 2 points for them, or you're on the bench. Are you kidding me?" And it took her, 3 seconds. You're right. Well, yeah. I mean, you're a senior. You should know that. And she's so competitive. I mean, that's her mindset. I'm not going to give her a layup. Well, sometimes it's best to do that so that you can handle the basketball for the next 6 minutes and we can get out of this thing doing what we're supposed to. So that competitive nature is what you love about coaching her, and it's what makes you crazy sometimes. But she'll be on the right side of that fence tomorrow night. She understands how critically important it is for her to be in the game against this pressure.
I feel like, with everything we talked about, their athleticism, their pressure, how you're going to handle it, are we pigeonholing this game too much? Or because we're painting it as a pretty, simple thing, not easy, but this is what it's about, their pressure and handling it. Is it that simple?
You guys always make it sound simple.
Well, that's why I'm asking you.
You just set that one up for me, Clay. I do think if I can make it even more simple for you.
Okay.
We don't turn the basketball over, we win. I mean, we keep this thing around 10 or 12 turnovers, we win the game. Now, that's really simple. Doing that is another thing entirely. But, you know, this time of year, that's what it comes down to, fundamental things. Not giving up second shots, not giving up layups, valuing the basketball. It really is. We make it real hard. Pretty simple.
Well, Coach Meyer said on the flip side, though, your offense executes about as well as anybody she's seen, the way you set screens, ball reversals, all that, that your offense is depending on it all year too. So there are other aspects to this game you can make up for even if you do get a little higher turnover probably.
We hope so.
Are there any other questions for Coach Coale?